So, what a great day to explore and unravel the wonders of contemporary Philippine arts from the regions. Hello everyone, I am John Ferdiol Menyosa of STEM E12G, your reporter for today, and today we will discuss or continue the discussion on the art in focus, the history, processes, and styles of painting. So let me reiterate our objectives for today. Number one is to identify and appreciate various representative paintings from the Philippines and the world, as well as acknowledge the different factors in producing these works. Number two, trace back the prehistoric start of painting up to the development of advanced media, styles, and techniques in the contemporary period. Number three is to grasp and understand the intensive flow of the painting process, starting from the procurement of materials to ways of properly protecting one's art piece. And number four, our last objective, is to create a still life painting based on everyday objects that truly represent one's unique way of living, personality, and philosophy. Now, we have finished discussing, natapos na natin tong what is painting and its benefits, as well as the history and development of painting. Now, we will continue our discussion with the essence of style in producing artistic paintings, the different types of stylistic tendencies, the intensive process of painting, which is the most important part of our discussion, as well as to appreciate various Filipino painters through the ages. So, let's start with the essence of style in producing artistic paintings, or the four stylistic tendencies. So, when we talk about style in art, it is the specific design, the pattern form, the composition, or basically the overall appearance, yung itsura ng artwork that helps differentiate an artist's work from others. So, when we say style is in our everyday living. So, yung style, yun yung nagdi-differentiate or nag-iiba sa'yo from other people's work. So, paano natin ma-identify yung isang artwork mo? No? Paano ka naiiba sa artwork ng ibang tao? Or paano naiiba yung craftsmanship mo, yung design mo from other people? In a world full of creative individuals, where do you stand? What is your standpoint? And what is your uniqueness? Or what do you bring new to the table? So, yun yung tinatawag nating style in art. So, when we say style and art, it is the unique branding, yung branding mo. Sino ka ba? Bakit ka ba naiiba sa iba? O bakit, anong bago sa'yo? What is your style that is personally and originally yours? So, branding that always stands out. So, number two, it is developed, stylistic tendencies are developed within a particular time or place. So, hindi natin pwedeng ma-determine o hindi natin pwedeng masabi na yung style ng isang tao ay ganito kung isang artwork pa lang yung nagagawa niya or isang artwork pa lang yung na-judge or na-criticize natin. Because it is developed within a particular time and place. Makikita po natin yung isang style or yung stylistic tendency na ina-adapt ng isang artist through time. So, makikita mo yan, kunyari, bibigyan ka ng 5 artworks or 5 paintings per se. Makikita natin, ganito siya mag-design ng background. Ganito siya mag-drawing ng mukha. Ganito siya like, merong mga geometric figures or very realistic yung painting niya. So, ganun yung nakikita natin. Nade-develop siya, namumold. Pwede ding mabago. Pwede siyang, from the start, ganito yung stylistic tendency niya or yung style niya ng art. Then, pwede siyang, in the future, na mas ma-hone pa yung skills niya, pwedeng magbago at magbago. Okay? Pwede siyang ma-develop. Number 3, similar cultures have common features in style. So, lalo na if ikaw ay, you belong to indigenous tribe or ikaw po ay included or you consider yourself as an indigenous person, indigenous people, yung tinatawag nating IP. So, very rich in culture, lalo na yung mga traditions nyo, no? Mga cultures ninyo, pwede nyo yung i-apply or pwede nyo yun i-adapt sa inyong stylistic tendencies. So, therefore, kunyari belong kayo sa isang community or indigenous community, pwede yung mga style nyo in art is pare-parehas dahil na-adapt nyo yon to the place, yung lugar nyo, no? Yung location, the proximity of your place. So, na-adapt nyo yon and mas na-appreciate nyo or parang gusto nyo na ipapakita or gusto nyong na-appreciate or na-recognize yung cultures nyo through art because one way or one of the functions of art is its social function, right? Nung diniscuss natin nung preliminaries. So now let's continue on the different stylistic tendencies. Ano ba yung mga stylistic tendencies na yan, no? So we have 4 stylistic tendencies in producing artworks, especially in the field of painting. Number 1, we have the style of objective accuracy. Number 2, the style of formal order, the style of emotion, as well as the style of fantasy. Let's start with the style of objective accuracy. So, objective accuracy focuses on copying or imitating. Gumagaya tayo. We are basically copying a scenery, an object, or a place, or sometimes people, diba? For example, Mona Lisa. Realism is the heart of objective accuracy from the word objective or being accurate. Therefore, the category or the genre that it's really appropriate in this condition is realism. For example, itong Gross Clinic by Thomas Erkins or Eakins. Gusto niyang gayahin yung scene from I think this is a laboratory or a clinic where people do surgeries. So gusto ni Thomas na gayahin or i-depict yung certain scene na yan through painting. So, realism is the heart of objective accuracy. And syempre nung time na yun, 'di ba? In the past wala naman din masyadong like hindi pa na-invento yung mga cameras or yung mga or digital photography. Therefore, very much so na ni-utilize natin tong stylistic tendency ng objective accuracy. So, therefore, realism, and also it can be further categorized by the artist being a detached observer or by employing a selective eye. In this case, when we say artist being a detached observer, ibig sabihin nun is parang candid yung yung pagkaka-paint niya. Like wala siyang basta makopya niya lang yung mismong scene. Hindi siya very focused on the subject matter itself, but rather to objectively and accurately depict a scene, no? Para makita hindi siya nakafocus sa isang scene lang or sa isang bagay. Gusto niya is the totality of the scenery or totality of the scene, diba? So, ito naman, when we talk about employing selective eye, ito na yung parang may focus or parang may borders or may margins na kung saan titingnan nung artist yung kanyang gagayahin. So that's what we call employing selective eye. So that is objective accuracy. Tandaan, ang objective accuracy din is mas madali siyang ma-judge kasi basically kung mas magaling ka or mas nakopya mo in detail yung object or yung scene, place or people is masasabi ng magaling ka sa style na to or pwede kang i-judge as very good in this style kapag nagagaya mo yung mga tao. Diba? Nagsimula naman tayo na gumagaya tayo sa mga objects na nakikita natin o kung ano yung nakikita natin sa environment or sa nature. Therefore, objective accuracy, it's one of the fundamental styles na nade-develop or dun siya nagsisimula yung isang artist. That is objective accuracy. Number 2 is formal order. So when we say formal order, rather than focusing on the realistic aspects of the artwork itself, it focuses more on the organization, composition, and proportion of the artwork. The main concerns of formal order is the stability and permanence of it. So there are three categories in formal order. We have intellectual, biomorphic, and aesthetic. So yung the latter two, which is itong biomorphic and aesthetic, I think is more appropriate in the sense of sculpture and architecture. So mainly when we're doing paintings, yung stylistic tendency natin is under intellectual. So meaning to say na pinag-iisipan natin kung ano yung nilalagay natin. Like, fino-form natin siya. So in formal order, geometry, organization is very important, no? Kung paano mag-fit like a puzzle. Just like cubism. Like for example, this is a Cubist 9 by Thomas C. Fedro. So we are using different shapes, different forms, and utilizing the importance of positive and negative space. So yun yung mahalaga sa formal order. Yung kumbaga maging neat and tight yung itsura ng artwork rather than being realistic. Unlike objective accuracy. So, yun yung formal order. It focuses on the organization, the composition, and proportion of the artwork. So, yun yung formal order. Isa sa mga magaling or isa sa mga magaling na pintor nito ay, of course, we know as Pablo Picasso. No? So, number 3 naman, let's move on to emotions. This is one of my favorite stylistic tendencies. So, emotions focuses on the feelings as well as, of course, emotion that the artist want to convey in the public. Okay. It's not about the realistic, it's not about the organization of the painting itself, but rather how you will put or how will you express the emotions and the feelings that you have through art. Because especially, di ba napag-aralan naman natin na one of the functions of arts is personal functions. Di ba? You want your emotions to be expressed. You want your ideas to be expressed through art or rather say in this case, painting. Di ba? Tapos, pinag-aralan din natin that painting cultivates emotional growth. Isa yun sa mga benefits ng painting na na-discuss natin in our first part of our discussion. So, how the communication of emotions becomes effective and takes precedence over everything else, all of the factors, pinaprioritize yung communication of emotion matters most. Okay? So, for example, Saturn devouring his son by Francisco Goya, nakikita natin itong depiction, itong taong to. I think this is under Greek mythology. So, yung hunger no etong subject matter natin which is yung man is gustong ma-depict ni Francisco Goya or gusto niyang i-express, no? Gusto niyang ipakita. Gusto niyang malaman ng tao kung ano yung nasa isip niya or kung ano yung dinadama niya. So, genres of art that are used in this style are now these two, the Romanticism and Expressionism. So, when we say Romanticism, meron tayo, di ba, napag-aralan natin yan sa 21st century literature. So, when we say Romanticism, it is a movement that focuses on the emotions, the feelings, the individuality, as well as romance, love, feelings of people. So, that's what we call Romanticism. And when we say Expressionism, it is rather more on expressing feelings and emotions that are strong. So, hindi lang siya more on love, hindi lang siya more on happiness, and more on aesthetic appeals, ganyan. Yung more on magagandang feelings na nararamdaman or positive feelings that we are feeling. So, rather than expressionism, just like this one, much more on focus siya. So, anger, the guilt, the envy, yung mga iba't ibang emotions na minsan na de-depict natin or minsan na-consider natin as negative. So, that's another way, another genre of art. No, Romanticism, Expressionism is under emotion. So, next, we have, okay, this is also one of my favorite stylistic tendencies, is fantasy, no? Fantasy, this is where you will practice or you will utilize the totality of your creative capacity because it helps the artist think beyond reality. So as artists develop their work, they can discover a variety of possibilities. One of the ways why a lot of artists or many artists in the contemporary period love fantasy, especially in mga digital art, diba? Because it doesn't have limitations. So, for example, in objective accuracy is the most limited one. Kailangan dapat gayahin mo talaga, diba? Kailangan sinusundan mo yung form, yung itsura, nung ginagaya mo. And when we talk about formal naman, formal order, yun din, kailangan geometric, dapat may organization. Kumbaga, merong mga limitations na kailangan mong sundin. And sa emotions naman, parang meron kang kailangan punan na emotions or may kailangan kang i-express. Unlike here in fantasy, I'm very creative ka or kahit anong maano ng utak mo, ilapag mo yan sa canvas or ilapag mo yan sa paper na it's okay na. Diba? What matters is most is your creative thinking or creative ability. So again, as artists develop their work, they can discover a variety of possibilities that are outside of the universal origin or kung anong wala sa nature. Kumbaga, hindi natin siya nakikita, di ba? Yun. So, some of the genres under fantasy are surrealism. Ayan, ito for example, this is a Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali, illusionism and mythological art, which means that a lot of artworks na under ng fantasy ay hindi siya pwede makatotohanan, fantasy nga, diba? So, can be classified under this style. Again, it is the most, sabihin na natin, expansive or yung hindi ma-overwhelm yung artist sa stylistic tendency na to because marami siyang freedom, no, na gawin lahat ng gusto niya or gawin or i-draw or i-paint lahat ng gusto niya. So yun yung 4 stylistic tendencies natin. Again, meron tayong style of objective accuracy. Number 2 is the style of formal order. Number 3 is style of emotion. Number 4 is style of fantasy. So, dear students, my fellow students or my fellow classmates, no, as we do art or as we continue bringing the essence or the importance of art, may we consider or may we identify what is our stylistic tendency as well as the genres that we want to practice in the future, no? So now, let's move on with the intensive process of painting. So ito yung pinaka-main na discussion natin kasi paano ba mag-paint, no? Hindi nila alam kung saan, hindi alam ng ibang mga students kung saan pa magsisimula, no? In this 8-step process, mainly dito tayo nagsisimula o pwede naman papalit-palit yan. O, it's up to you where will you start your painting. Just, ito lang ang sinasabi ko sa mga kapwa classmates ko or yung mga sinasabi ko sa ibang tao when they wanna start a painting is that it will get messy and you just need to trust the process. Okay? Hindi lahat ng painting nagsisimula na maganda, no? Painting is a messy art. You are dealing with wet medium. So therefore, when pag nagsisimula ka, hindi naman kailangan na maganda yan or malinis yan. Pwede mo siyang linisin pa, i-organize pa, until you meet a desired outcome. So, yun yung ng painting. So, we have 8-step preparation of wet media and other painting supplies. Number 2, brainstorming, yung initial sketch. Number 3 is yung paglalagay ng borders or yung canvas priming na tinatawag natin that I will explain later and differentiate it from canvas toning. As well as ito-transfer natin yung sketch. Then, first block of paint, then layer, rendering, and filling of gaps, adding highlights and finishing details, as well as drying of canvas and application of protection. So, let's start with the preparation of wet media. So, here, i-prepare mo muna lahat ng mga kailangan mo in painting. This is what's a bit, hindi naman sinasabi nating annoying, but very intensive din to. Part na to in painting because there are a lot of supplies you need. Unlike digital painting na when you just need stylus and a tablet and a digital application, then you have all of the different media. You have watercolor, you have pencil na, di ba? Unlike here in traditional media, you need to gather your basic tools such as your paper, or pen and pencil as well as eraser for your initial sketch. Then you decide what kind of wet medium, kung anong klaseng paint yung gagamitin mo, and as well as the surface, because the surface is dependent to the kind of wet medium that you will be using. And later on in the next slide, I will discuss the different kinds or different common types of wet media. So you will also need different sizes of paint brushes. Syempre kung kailangan ng detailed, no, kailangan mo na maliit na brush, and kapag sa background naman, if you wanna cover a large surface area, kailangan mo ng malapad na wide artist brush. So you also need 2 cups of water, especially in watercolor. One is for rinsing, is paglilinis ng brush, and the other one is for dipping. And also masking tape. This is optional for borders. Yung masking tape is para matakpan or para maging malinis yung artwork mo. As well as later on, explain ko bakit tayo naglalagay ng borders, diba? You can also use masking fluid for the finer details na gusto mong i-cover or hindi malagyan ng pintura. So these are the different common types of wet media. So number 1 is watercolor. Watercolor is mostly blocks of pigment that can be activated with water. So para gumagamit tayo ng tubig para ma-reactivate or para magkaroon ng kulay or para ilabas natin yung pigment dun sa blocks of watercolor. Watercolor can be in blocks, yung sa may mga palettes, or can be in tubes. So next, we have acrylic paint. This is one of the common paints na ginagamit, lalo na pag nagpe-painting tayo, ang kinoconsider talaga natin is yung acrylic, no? Acrylic is a water-based medium with pigments suspended in an emulsion of pigment and acrylic resin. So, yung acrylic paint, ang ayoko lang sa kanya is, ako kasi, as an artist, no, or as a painter, wow, painter na yarn, matagal ako mag-paint. So, lagi kong minamano-mano yung mga details, and when acrylic paint, mabilis siyang matuyo. So, pwede ka naman bumili ng container na sealed para yung acrylic paint mo hindi matuyo. So, that's the downside with acrylic paint. Ang maganda sa kanya is affordable siya, and it comes in a variety of colors to choose from. So next is yung oil paint. Hindi ko pa na-experience mag-paint ng oil paint. Ito yung mga pinipili talaga ng mga artists or yung mga experts, yung mga i-discuss natin later. Kadalasan na ginagamit nila ay oil paint. Oil paint, why? Because it is a slow drying paint. So mainly yun yung gusto kong aspect or magugustuhan kong aspect ng oil paint is matagal siyang matuyo. So, kapag in details ka and gusto mo talaga na maging maayos yung painting mo, 'di ba? Mamanu-manuhin mo 'yon, and ayaw mong mix ulit ng another batch of paint kasi sayang lang, 'di ba? So that's what's good about oil paint. Oil paint is made with pigments, suspended naman siya po with drying oil, yung mga linseed oil, ganyan, mga mineral spirits as a binder. And ang pangit lang dito sa oil paint is that you will use a lot of chemicals like turpentine, yan yung mga spirits, mga chemicals that could harm your health in the long run. So that's what hindi ka pwede gumamit ng tubig-tubig lang dito pang hugas ng paintbrush. Kailangan talaga ng turpentina. So ang downside din dito sa oil paint is matagal siyang matuyo. Sa sobrang tagal niyang matuyo, aabutin ka ng 1 taon para lang matuyo yung top layer niya. Because sa oil paint, yung top layer lang talaga yung natutuyo, yung magkakaroon lang siya ng protection, and the down part or the other layers below, hindi talaga siya fully dry. So next is gouache. Ito very new pa ako dito. So also known as opaque watercolors, gouache can be described as the love child between watercolor and acrylic. Watercolor in the sense that it still have some transparency even though it's opaque. You can use water in it. You can use the methods of watercolor as well as the techniques that you use in acrylic paint. So, pwede mo, makapal siya, like, kumbaga, diba sa watercolor, nakakailang layers ka. Sa gouache, isang layer lang yan. So, I think, ito yung dati iniisip ko, ito yung magugustuhan kong medium, but I think I will still prefer watercolor because sometimes yung ibang brand ng gouache is sobrang lapot na hindi mo na ma-mix yung colors o hindi mo na ma-blend yung colors doon sa mismong paper. Maybe I need to get it's either kailangan ko pa siyang matutunan kung paano talaga mag-paint using gouache kasi kadalasan ng gouache gumagamit tayo ng nagpipaint tayo ng fine details or kaya naman bibili ako ng mas magandang brand, yung Hinimiya, yun no. So, yun yung mga different wet media, other painting supplies. Ayan. So, next, let's move on to number 2, brainstorming and initial sketch of painting. You need to plan the overall concept and design of your painting. Ayan, magdo-drawing ka na. I-drawing mo kung ano ipipaint mo. You need to distinguish, number 1, the subject matter. Ano ba i-drawing mo? No? Ano ba yung main focus ng drawing mo? The theme, what is the overall message or if under the stylistic tendency of emotion, ano gusto mo i-express? Ayan o, stylistic tendency as well as stylistic tendency you want to apply. So, one can sketch in a random piece of paper, yun yung kadalasan in traditional media. But a lot of artists nowadays employ the advantages of digital applications. So some of the paintings that you have seen me done in Cpar, Contemporary Philippine Arts, yung mga artworks ko doon, a lot of them, hindi ko yun plinano on paper. A lot of them are planned using digital application, using a stylus and a tablet. In a sense or in a reason of being that when we're using random pieces of paper, magastos siya. It's not environmentally friendly for me. And mas madaling mag-erase, diba? Kapag digital applications. Kasi ito lang, sketch lang naman eh. Hindi mo naman kailangan na perfect talaga siya. Therefore, mas ni-utilize ko yung digital applications. Para magkakaroon ako ng 2 versions ng artwork ko. Meron ng traditional, tapos meron din ng digital, no? Maganda din siya maging reference, no? Kunyari, save mo lang sa phone mo, kuha ka ng camera, or kuha ka ng laptop, tapos, or either tablet, tapos display mo siya, tapos, meron ka ng gagayahan. So, yun yung brainstorming and initial sketch of painting. Number 3 is measuring of borders, or may tinatawag po tayong term or terminology na canvas priming. Okay, if one is using paper for painting, meron po tayong different types of paper, like for example, hot press, cold press, mixed media paper, acrylic paper, a lot of different types of paper that you can buy on your local bookstore or local art store, no? Pag gumagamit tayo ng different types of paper, it's better to create an estimated border. So, gagawa tayo ng border. Alam niyo naman yung kapag, kunyari, diba sa drafting na subject nyo, meron tayong nilalagay na border. This will ensure the cleanliness of your work, and ito po ay nagpo-provide ng guide for future painting. So, kung gusto mo i-frame or gusto mo i-display yung painting mo, tapos gawa siya sa paper, diba? Or either naman pati sa canvas, pwede ka naman mag-border doon. Pag gusto mo siyang i-frame, edi maglagay ka yan, estimated border. So, i-ruler mo lang yan, tas ayun. And then, ito na yung tinutukoy ko na canvas priming. So, when we say canvas priming, refers to applying a medium on a canvas. Ito po, itong medium na to. This is, I think, ang ina-apply niya dito, it's either white acrylic paint or gesso. Refers to applying a medium on a canvas para maging smooth yung application ng paint and mag-stand out siya better para lumitaw yung kulay. Kasi mahirap pag yung brown, kunyari brown yan or ganyan or peach yung color ng canvas mo or yung surface na pinagpipaintan mo, mahirap natapalan ng ilang covers yan, di ba? So, as well as may mga paint na hindi talaga dumidikit sa surface, it's either the surface is really smooth, no? Yung either, yung iba naman pala, yung ibang artist naman, it's either, tawag doon, we call it a sandpaper, no? Yung sinasandpaper nila, nililiha, ayun, yung Tagalog term, nililiha yung canvas, para naman dumikit lalo kasi pag may texture yung paper nyo or may texture tong canvas, mas madaling dumikit yung paint, hindi siya dudulas, no? Kaya mas madali mag-apply ng paint. Yun yung canvas priming. Canvas priming is using a medium, gesso is this, spelling of gesso, or a white acrylic paint. we put it on the surface of a canvas to make the paint flow smoother and stand out better. So, ang ginagamit po natin ay white pigment po. White pigment. Yan. So, that is measuring of canvas, measuring of borders rather, and canvas priming. Next is the transfer of sketch and canvas toning. So, ito naman yung tinatawag natin canvas toning, no? So, transfer of sketch, yun, ita-transfer mo na yung sketch mo, it's either in manual, yung pencil, or ito, in this case, gumagamit siya ng black paint, or I think this is brown, dark brown, in tracing the paper or in a dry media. Ayan, gumagamit tayo ng grid, or mag-apply tayo ng grid, para madaling makopya, para itong isang section na to ng, sunflower to, diba? Itong section na to, isa-isayin niya yan para maging, this is under the style of objective accuracy. O, tingnan mo, diba? Na-identify na natin kung ano yung mga ginagamit ng mga artist na styles. So, manual sketching, ayan, or pwede tayong gumamit ng tracing paper, tapos yung dry medium gaya ng chalk. O kaya naman ng, I think it's charcoal, or kaya graphite. So, parang, magbabakat ka muna dun, like, tatapalan mo muna siya ng graphite, tapos babakat mo, tapos dikit mo lang yan sa canvas, tapos ayun, meron ng transfer mo na. So, ito naman yung tinatawag natin canvas toning. So, when we say canvas toning, it means that glazing the canvas with warm tone pigment with the purpose of creating deeper shadows and richer color. So, para magkaroon ng sense of atmosphere, para magkaroon ng warmness or ng tone, ng vignette, yung mga tinatawag ng vignette, diba? Yung canvas mo or yung painting mo, para hindi super white. Or kaya kasi, may mga artists kasi na nag-iiba, or basically kasi, your eye, nag-iiba yung niya, yung paningin niya sa kulay kapag color white. Kapag white kasi, masyadong matingkad or parang masyadong light yung pagkatingin mo sa color. Hindi na i-utilize yung totoong intensity ng pigments na ginagamit mo. Therefore, we are glazing the canvas with a warm tone pigment. Para magkaroon tayo ng shadows, magkaroon ng depth, tapos lumitaw yung highlights na lalagay natin sa ating painting. So, yun po yung transfer of sketch and canvas toning. Number 5, ito na. Sa 4 na steps na yun, hindi talaga tayo nag-paint, no? Hindi tayo nag-apply talaga ng paint. So, ngayon, pwede tayo mag-paint. You can now apply the first base of paint, the first coat of paint, also known as blocking, to your canvas. Utilizing a wide artist's brush, try to fill lang. O, if you fill mo lang yung mga malalaking subject or objects, try to fill and block the objects and large areas with color. Kung baga kukulayan mo lang siya lahat. Wala kang details, wala munang details na ilalagay, wala munang mga outlines or highlights. You just need to fill the painting, okay? It's okay to be messy and imperfect. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko, just trust the process. Do not worry about mistakes and mishaps. The focus of the artist at this stage of intensive process of painting is just to cover the basic elements. No, okay lang madumihan, okay lang, ay may mali dito, ay may mali doon, ay hindi malinis, okay lang, dahil tatapalan mo pa naman yan, or you will layer other coats of paint, or several coats rather of paint. So, yun yung first coat of painting mo. Okay lang maging messy, okay lang magkamali ha. Do not be too hard on yourself because painting, again, is an intensive process. Next, we have layering, rendering, and filling of gaps. This part is the most intensive, okay? So, ito yung pinakamatrabaho. Ito yung sabihin ko yung pinakamatrabaho because we are rendering the paint. So, dito na tayo bubuhos ng details. Kanina kasi, di ba, okay lang maging messy, okay lang maging madumi, ganyan. Ngayon, lilinisin na natin yung painting. Painting somehow is 10% sketching. So, di ba nag-sketch tayo kanina? 10% pa lang yon. 90% is layering and blending of paint. In this intensive stage na, pay close attention yung coverage, the blending, as well as the details of each object. Ayun o, na-form na siya, diba? Tapos later on, mas magiging pa yan. Mas magiging clear pa yan or detailed. Mas magiging amazing yung painting mo. So this is where you will practice your knowledge about the different elements of art. Dito mo na ipapractice yung mga color theory, yung composition, visual elements, and principles of design. Dito mo i-apply sa step number 6, which is layering, rendering, and filling of gaps. So finifill mo na yung gaps, apply ka na ng layers, like for example, acrylic paint. Sa acrylic paint po kasi medyo transparent din siya. Kailangan mo mag-layer. Lalo na kapag watercolor, di ba? If you want. Kaya nga meron tayong gouache para hindi problema yung mga watercolor artists na mag-layer nung masayang yung paint, di ba? So that is layering, rendering, and filling of gaps. Next. Okay, number 7, this is the second to the last stage, I think. Adding highlights and finishing details. This is my favorite part. Kahit na this is the second intensive part of painting. This is the most enjoyed by many artists because this is where your artwork slowly comes out. Ayun, no, tingnan nyo. Ito, diba, ganyan pa lang siya. Ayan, nagkaroon na siya ng buhay. Diba, yung painting. One can add several outlines. Ayan, mga outlines ng trees, yung church, or I think this is maybe a church or an academic institution. Shadows, ayan yung mga shadows, white lines, yung mga highlights, sparkling dots, juicy highlights, etc. This is the time for you to be extra creative and innovative when it comes to your personal style and taste. So dito utilize na natin yung ating creativity, 'di ba? Dito natin bubuhos yung effort natin para mapaganda talaga yung painting natin at magkaroon siya ng museum feeling or yung museum atmosphere na parang pwede na i-display or pwede na to i-hang sa wall ng bahay ninyo, 'di ba? So that is adding highlights and finishing details. After that, tapos ka na mag-paint. So congratulations, you have finished your first painting experience. Then make sure na kailangan po matuyo po talaga. 'Di ba? Sinabi ko kanina na watercolor and acrylic paint wash takes a short duration of time para ma-paint. Para matuyo yung paint sa canvas or sa paper. Unlike sa oil, naaabutin ka ng months and years, no? Pwede mo patuyuin yung painting mo through natural conditions or with the aid of a fan or blower kung nagkakram ka na talaga or kunyari may papasa kang artwork or it is academic requirement tapos medyo gahol ka na sa oras, kaya pwede ka na gumamit ng fan or ng blower, no? Tapat mo lang para mabilis matuyo. Once dry, you can now apply additional protection. So, nung kami po ay nag-paint, naalala nyo yung project natin sa Cpar, nilagyan ko po yun ng coat of gloss varnish. No, para kumikinang-kinang siya, no, para medyo parang glass yung feeling niya. Ayan, no, for example, here, no, nilalagyan ng artist ng varnish. Hindi lang po siya para sa aesthetic appeal, but also to protect the painting from debris, dirt, and dust, as well as UV radiation. You can also use, kung ayaw mo naman ng glossy, pwede namang matte, medium, or pwede namang resin kung gusto mo medyo makapal yung varnish, or an outdoor sealer, or kapag gusto mo i-display yung painting in public. So, yun. Yun na, pag tapos na matuyo, tapos lagyan mo ng protection, pwede mo ma-display, or pwede mo nang ibenta, or under art commission na yung painting mo. So, congratulations, natapos mo ang intensive process of painting. That 8 steps, no? Ano ba yung number 1? Iulitin natin from the start. Number 1 is preparation yung materials mo. Number 2 is yung brainstorming ng ideas or brainstorming ng sketch mo. Number 3, I think, is yung transfer ng sketch or yung tinatawag natin canvas priming. Pinaprime na natin yung canvas. Pinaprepare na natin siya. Number 4 is canvas toning. Okay, so canvas toning is yung naglalagay na tayo ng warm depth of color dun sa background. Then, first block of painting, layering, rendering, and filling of gaps. Adding highlights and details, and then last is the drying of canvas and application of protection. So yun yung intensive process of painting. So sana naintindihan nyo at sana nakasubaybay kayo kahit napaka Very intensive indeed yung discussion na to. So, may i-discuss pa tayong isa before we move on sa ating discussion. No, wait lang. So now, let's continue our discussion. So, tapos na tayo dun sa discussion natin on the intensive process of painting. Now, we will appreciate and honor the different famous Filipino painters. So, the Philippines is home to several exceptional artists, especially in the field of painting. Let's honor and appreciate each of them one by one. So, here is Juan Luna, and I think this is Fernando Amorsolo. Then, this one is Vicente Manansala. This one is Hernando Ocampo. Jose Hoya, and si Pasita Abad. So, let's start with Juan Luna. So, Juan Luna is known for painting inspired by European trends. So, gumagaya siya dun sa mga European artists. So, then he incorporated the genres of romanticism, we have discussed under the stylistic tendency of emotion, as well as sometimes impressionism. So, lahat ng nakikita natin yung romanticism is yung spoliarium ni Juan Luna. So, that is under romanticism. And itong Umiiho Andres ni Juan Luna is under impressionism. So, nagtry siya dito ng impressionism. So, Juan Luna's artwork are characterized by powerful strokes, full of fervor, but with classical balance. So, dun kilala si Juan Luna. Second is Fernando Amorsolo, one of my favorite Filipino painters. Fernando Amorsolo is mainly an impressionist. So, when we say impressionist, no, parang kinukuha natin or gusto nating makuha yung impression ng environment. Known for paintings having a distinct glow. So, parang lumiliwanag siya against the figures stand out. Against which figures stand out. So, trying to catch the exact quality of light. So, sunlight at high noon when contrasts are strongest and when sun shafts creates dappled light patterns on the ground. So, this is the expertise ni Fernando Amorsolo. So, malalaman mo dun sa painting kung umaga ba, kung dapit hapon, under moonlight, ganyan. Kasi magaling siyang mag-manipulate ng light. So, yung alam niya kung saan ilalagay yung shadows, alam niya kung saan magagaling yung source of radiance sa mga sa kanyang mga sceneries. So that is what's good about Fernando Amorsolo. And Fernando Amorsolo is really known sa mga genre paintings, no? Ibig sabihin nun yung mga daily activities ng mga tao, especially nung traditional era. So for example, ito yung La Bandera. This is a depiction or an impression of women with their children washing clothes in a nearby stream. So, that's kilala si Fernando Amorsolo, mga daily activities niya. Mga daily activities ng mga tao rather, and get its impression. Next is Vicente Manansala. Vicente Manansala is known for his style of geometric, yung tinatawag nating formal order, because he is a cubist painter, which has his easy to understand kind of cubism known as transparent cubism that he claims he developed himself. So what's the difference between transparent cubism and the cubism that Picasso and Braque did? So in this style, hindi niya tinutur yung image. Kumbaga, yung kanyang cubism is parang may halong impressionism or realism with a mix of cubism. So parang ayan pa rin yung form or ayan pa rin yung order, yung shapes ng tao. Tapos, parang nilalagyan niya na lang ng mga cubes, ganon. Hindi niya talaga, kumbaga, winawatak or hindi niya talaga sinisira yung natural form or yung organic form nung mga depictions or nung mga sceneries, but rather improve them with a style of cubism. That's what is good with Vicente Manansala. So, this is an example of a painting that he did give us this day our daily bread. So, this style hardly tore the image into pieces like jigsaw fragments the way that Picasso and Braque did. So, that's the difference or the transparent cubism. Kaya ang sasabing transparent is parang nakikita mo pa rin or parang madaling makita or madaling ma-understand kung ano yung gustong i-portray or gusto i-express ni Vicente Manansala through painting. No? That's Vicente Manansala. This is Hernando Ocampo. Ito yung sinasabi kong parang cubism yung style, no? Parang hindi mo medyo makita kung ano yung meaning. But rather, this is more of an abstract painting, yung kay Hernando Ocampo. Following the modernist tradition, Ocampo used bold color palettes. For example, this, gumamit siya ng yellow, ng reds, deep hues of reds, ayan, oranges, red oranges, and biomorphic shapes. When you say biomorphic shapes, ito yung mga shapes na hindi talaga siya geometric or mainly abstract siya. Ayan o, yung mga abstract na shapes, diba? Wala ka nang makikitang rectangle dyan, or ng square, or ng cube, mga ganyan, circles, biomorphic yung shape. Very organic in nature. Inspired by the country's landscape and science fiction writing, because I think correct me if I'm wrong, no? But before Hernando Ocampo mastered the field of painting, mainly more siya of an artist for literature. So, nauna siya magsulat bago siya magpaint. His interest involved from depiction of workers, parang impressionism, to abstract forms. Ayan, this is an example. This is a sonata for September 1976. That is Hernando Ocampo. Next is Jose Hoya. So, pag si Jose Hoya naman, si Hernando Ocampo naman is known for abstract painting. So, dito naman kay Jose Hoya ay tinatawag nating abstract impressionism. So, he pioneered this genre of painting in the Philippines. Jose Hoya embraced the value of dynamic spontaneity and quick gestures in painting. Kumbaga, wala nang isip-isip, basta malapag yung paint tapos i-depict kung ano yung meaning niya. So, spontaneity, when you see spontaneity, quick, hindi na kailangan pag-isipan pa ng malalim, no? Hindi pa kailangan mano-mano. Kaya, ayan lang, swish, no? His painting exhibits features where paint is applied spontaneously. Ayan, example nito yung sa may kanyang Granadian Arabesque. So, ito pong painting na to, na-crop lang po siya, pero mahaba siya. So, very expansive yung painting nung naka-display siya sa museum. So, that is Jose Hoya, more on abstract expressionism. Tapos yung meaning niya to sa Granadian Arabesque is parang gusto niya i-depict yung golden agriculture or yung mga golden landscape ng Philippines, no? Liwanag ng perlas ng silangan. So, yun yung parang gusto niya i-depict or gusto niya i-express ni Jose Hoya. So, for our last painter, so ito, medyo recently lang to siya. 2004 ata to siyang namayapa. Si Pasita Abad. So, sa lahat ng mga na-discuss nating famous Filipino painters, no, siya lang yung isang babae. So, Pasita Abad, known to study and travel abroad, which provided her artistic style and technical aspiration. So, di ba ito, example, Anup's Dinner. So, meron siyang, I think, halo to ng Middle Eastern vibes, no? So, si Pasita Abad po ay nag-aral sa ibang bansa and she loves to travel. And with her travel aspects or yung mga travel destinations niya, yung mga kanyang mga experiences in different countries and different cultures, ini-incorporate niya to sa kanyang mga artworks or kanyang mga paintings. No? Provide artistic style and technical inspiration. She developed a unique style of painting which is called trapunto. So when we say trapunto, is a form of embroidery that resembles quilting or hand-stitched textile. So yun yung trapunto. So kumbaga parang may layer ang bubbled or parang may texture, parang layered yung painting or yung artwork because it is in a form of embroidery itself. So, ayan, dyan kilala si Pasita Abad, ayan sa mga kanyang very contemporary art. So, as Pasita Abad is truly an inspiration for contemporary artists, no? So, yan si Pasita Abad. So, mainly nakikilala siya sa kanyang trapunto painting. So, yung Anop's Dinner. So, yan yung kanyang artwork. So, natapos na tayo sa mga Filipino painters. Again, let's reminisce them one by one. Si Juan Luna, si Fernando Amorsolo, si Vicente Manansala, Hernando Ocampo, Jose Hoya, and Pasita Abad. So, ngayon, natapos na natin yung discussions natin, natapos na natin yung stylistic tendencies, yung intensive process ng painting, as well as yung famous Filipino painters, no? So, ngayon naman, let's move on to our mga not discussions, but yung mga activities natin to hone and to check if you have understand what I have been discussing all along. No? So now, let's move on to apply more layers. Let's check your understanding to practical application. So, are you familiar with the style of still life painting? Still life, under the stylistic tendency of objective accuracy, is a visual art genre that presents inanimate objects from natural or man-made world with realistic lighting, shadows, and composition. So, yung still life, parang mag-aayos tayo ng mga objects, for example, mga vase, mga pagkain, ganyan, mga wine, ganon. Tapos, i-depict natin siya, ipipaint natin siya. Yung itsura niya, yung lighting, yung shadows. That is still life. From the word still, walang gumagalaw. There's no aspect of movement. So, still life. So, it's like realistic but still, no? So, you will do a still life painting. So, a still life painting, this is your main activity for this module. The title of your activity is Symbols for You. The objective of this activity, na-discuss na natin to kanina from the beginning, yung create an accurate and aesthetically pleasing still life painting like this example by Super Ray Diesel. Makita nyo yung YouTube video. Just click the link. Still life painting based on everyday objects that truly represent one's unique way of living, personality, and philosophy. So, the materials that you will need for this activity is watercolor. Mainly watercolor po yung gagamitin nating medium because it is affordable and it is mainly madali siya mabili. Okay? So, watercolor paper, or Oslo paper. I prefer watercolor paper dahil yung Oslo medyo wrinkle siya pag masyadong marami ng layers or masyadong ginamitan ng water. Brushes, mixing pans or palettes, pencil, eraser, camera, and a masking tape. So, here are the procedures and standards that we will follow for the main activity. Number 1, respond to the style of the impressionists that we have discussed, such as Monet and Amorsolo. We have discussed Monet in our on-site discussion in the history or the brief history of painting and its development through the ages. And also Amorsolo we have discussed as the one of the famous Filipino painters. So then, pick 3 items that you can find in your household that represent who you are as a person, such as your personality, hobbies, and living philosophy. For example, ang pinili mo ay lipstick because you are a bit sophisticated, you are feminine, and you like treating yourself as art, you like being pretty and aesthetic. Or naman, for example, you pick a dumbbell because you like to define the sculpture of your body and to take care of it. So, parang gano'n. So, you will pick 3 items that truly represent who you are. No? These 3 objects will be the items for your symbolism. After you have picked the 3 items, you need to set up a still life. So, i-set up mo na siya. Okay. You will arrange the 3 objects in thoughtful composition. So, when we say thoughtful composition, hindi lumulutang yung mga objects mo. For example, here is your canvas. No, you have here 3 objects. hindi siya for example, ito, di ba, mukha siya lumulutang. There is no ground or no surface for your three objects to stand. Therefore, you need to create a base, and then you need to know where is the source of light. For example, the source of light is here, the shadows will be here, no? Or if the source of light is here, the shadows will be here. Therefore, you need to ground it. No? We are designing or we are creating an artwork based on the elements of art that we need to follow, also the principles of design. Again, I will say that to clarify, no? We organize the elements of art through principles of design. So, kailangan we need to be thoughtful on where our light is, where our source of light, where our shadow is, no? So that we will have a thoughtful composition, meaning that each should have cohesiveness and harmony. You can also include or you can also utilize a mirror or a studio light, for example, yung ring light, to provide reflected light, o kunyari may ring light ka dito, tapos yung ilaw mo nandyan, di ba? As well as to enhance the overall impression of the scenery itself. No? Next, using a camera, take several shots of your still life setup and use it as your reference for your sketch, no? Pwede ka namang hindi gumamit ng camera or manual ka mag-paint on real time lapse, pero mas maganda mag-utilize ng camera kasi pwede mo pa ma-edit yung lighting, or kung gusto mo maging dark yung ano mo, yung black and white, diba? Pwede mong i-edit pa siya. So, take several shots of your still life setup and use it as your reference. And then you can now start with the intensive process of painting with the preparation of your wet media and other painting supplies. Prepare your materials and then put the borders on your watercolor paper and then start painting. Number 4 is to make it a goal to paint the objects realistically and capture the effects of change in light. Kagaya nung sinabi ko kanina at drawing ko sa sketch dito sa PowerPoint, kailangan mo i-utilize yung thoughtful composition, or kailangan mong magkaroon ng thoughtful composition. And ibig sabihin nun is to capture the effect of changing light on the rich colors of the objects themselves. Don't forget to emphasize the shadows, the lighting, and the depth of your artwork. Make it seem that your artwork is realistic because we are practicing the stylistic tendency under objective accuracy, no? So make it in a sense that it feels real, or parang pinicturean nga nung camera, di ba, yung painting mo. Number 5, after you have finished na your painting, you are done with it, you are satisfied with your painting, try to answer the following questions, guided question. You can write it at the back of the paper. No? How would you describe your overall painting experience, and what are the 3 objects you chose? So please reiterate or please enumerate the objects that you chose, kasi baka mamaya hindi ko maintindihan kung ano yung mga pinag-drawing nyo, no? Why did you choose them to represent you? So explain the symbolism behind the objects that you chose. So for my criteria of scoring, we have requirements, interpretation, craftsmanship, creativity, effort, and participation. Each of these elements have 5 points in a total score of 25 points. Doon, meron kang 3 objects, 3 or more objects. Sinunod mo yung procedures and standards. Watercolor yung ginamit mo, hindi ka gumamit ng other wet medium. At nasagutan mo yung 2 guided question. Kapag nakumpleto mo yung lahat, meron kang 5 points. Interpretation, naging malalim ka, naging parang naging vulnerable ka dun sa artwork mo, parang pinagbuhusan mo siya ng emotional side. Not only in-apply mo objective accuracy mo, but you also integrated the style of emotion. So, ibig sabihin nun, naging meaningful yung mga objects na pinili mo. Hindi yung basta-basta kumuha ka na lang ng mga items in your household. So, that is 5 points. Craftsmanship refers to the cleanliness of your artwork. For me, no? So, dapat walang punit na paper, lahat may kulay, may borders, malinis yung borders, walang mancha. Yun, no? tas buo yung papel, yun nga, walang punit. That's for craftsmanship. And also, wala ding pencil marks. So, you can use a kneaded eraser, di ba, ito-drawing, nasa stages ng intensive process natin, yung transfer of sketch. Kung gagamit ka man ng pencil or charcoal graphite, ganyan, dapat hindi siya lilitaw sa paint or hindi siya lilitaw dun sa watercolor. So, better yet, erase partially to the point na matatabunan siya nung transparency ng watercolor. Next is creativity. So, sa creativity, na-follow mo ba yung principles of design and elements of art accordingly and accurately in your artwork? So, that is creativity, no? Nasundan mo na, follow mo na ba yung mga prinsipyo, yung mga konsepto na pinag-aralan at diniscuss natin, especially nung tayo sa My Start the Borders, diba? Recap tayo nung mga principles and elements of design. Yan. And art, no? Next is effort and participation. Binuhusan ba ng effort? Natapos ba yung painting, no? Maraming positive space rather than negative space, no? Tapos parang hindi ka tinamad sa painting mo. Like, nasipagan ka, nakita ko yung enthusiasm mo, yung productivity mo, no, and motivation to finish the artwork. And participation also as well, nag-participate ka, ginawa mo tong activity na to, at hindi ka na late ng pagpasa. So, that is 5 points. Total of 25 points. So, yun po yung inyong activity, which is entitled Symbols for You. So, this is the practical application of what you have learned in our very long section. Now, let's practice naman na, on the spot na tayo magpa-practice. So, next is add finishing details. So, continue to examine all of your learnings. The next slide contains the step-by-step images of the process of how to paint a Tuscan landscape. So, we have learned the intensive process, no? Ngayon naman, pag itetest natin yung visual learning mo or yung visual knowledge mo. No? So, ang problem nga lang sa mga step-by-step images on the next slide is arrange sila randomly. So, we need to organize them or place them in chronological order by writing the number in the box located at the uppermost right corner. So, in-numberin natin siya ng 1 to 10. So, let's try, no? This is the step-by-step images. So, yan. This is a Tuscan landscape. So, ang number one step natin, di ba, is yung gathering of materials. Pero wala naman tayo nakitang nag-gather siya ng materials. So, move on to the next step, which is yung brainstorming or yung digital. Pwede tayo gumamit dito. Basically, na digital application. So, saan ba sa tingin yung digital dyan, no? So, ito number 1, kasi white yung background at walang texture. Wala pinagkaiba. So, this will be our number 1. And next is yung transfer ng sketch. So, ita-transfer na natin to. So, of course, ito yung step number 2. Ita-transfer na natin yung sketch. Ito ang ginamit dito is pencil sa canvas. Then, next, after transferring, ito hindi na kasi siya nag-canvas priming and canvas, canvas toning. Okay lang naman yon, pero it's much better magkakaroon kasi ng depth yung painting mo kapag you apply those techniques in painting. So, dito, nag-start na siya ng first block of paint. So, saan nung first natin? Una niyang pininturahan ay yung sky. Therefore, number 3 natin is here. Number 3, ito yung sky. After ng sky, ang pinaint niya ay yung greenery, yung hills. Not the mountains, but the green landscape. So, ito number 4. Kasi ito na yung pinaint niya, diba? So, number 5, ang kanya naman sunod na pinaint ay yung road. Tsaka yung sandy dunes dito. Yung lupa or yung soil na walang greenery, walang grass. So, ito number 5. Next is tawag dito, naglagay na tayo ng details. So, sumunod ay nag-details na tayo ng road, yung main pavement that we have in our painting or our sketch rather. So, dito, Ito na yung step number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, sunod na kanyang binigyan details ay naglagay na siya ng bahay-bahay, no? Naglagay siya ng mga bahay-bahay, naglagay na siya ng mga vegetation. 7. Number 8, tinuloy niya yung vegetation na yan dito, no? Kinontinue niya. So, ito na yung number 8 natin. And then, yung other side naman, kinontinue niya din yung paints. This is, I think, mga lavenders, tsaka mga trees, shrubs, herbs. Ayan, number 9. Tapos, mas lalo niya ng pinicturean niya na at dinocument niya na, nilagyan niya na ng watermark. So, number 10 is here. And natin kung tama tayo na 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, here are the correct answers. Ayan, I think we're correct. Number 1 is here, 2, then 3, then 4, 5. This is 6, this is 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Okay, so we have accomplished the first activity. Now let's move on to the next activity. Okay, this is for you. You can comment this. You can put this or send this in the comment section of this video. No, this is reminisce your artwork. Let us reflect the values and the wisdom we have acquired throughout the lesson by answering this essential, or rather so, the philosophical question that we have. Remember that this will serve as your recitation. The essential question is: if you were luckily given the last existing canvas and set of painting supplies in this world, what would you paint and why? So, kung binigyan ka ng set of painting supplies at canvas na nag-iisa na lang sa mundong to, last existing, at luckily, nabigay siya sa iyo. So, as an artist, ano yung ipipaint mo? What will be your last artistic legacy in painting in this world? So, para sa akin, I think, para sa akin lang to, in my opinion, ang aking ipipaint ay, it's rather my, a portrait of my family, or a portrait of myself. Portrait ko, or portrait ng family ko, di ba? So, yun yung aking ipipaint. So, for you, anong ipipaint mo, no? I have asked this question, to yung mga students ko, or yung mga classmates ko before, and nakita ko kung ano yung kanilang mga values and perception. So, again, I will ask this for my current students na. So, what will you paint? And why would you paint that? So, that will be your recitation, your reminisce your artwork. Okay, this will be your last activity. Buti naman, matatapos na tong ating discussion, no? So, this is display your masterpiece. So, this is a post-test. So, this is a test that you can encounter in summatives or in your midterm examination. So, choose the letter of the best answer. Write your answer in the blank before the number. So, number 1, every weekend when she does not have any business meetings and extra workload from the office, Kyla practices her skills in painting rural landscapes and city skylines as a form of entertainment and leisure. This is a situational question. She finds this hobby as a therapeutic activity. Which of the following benefits of painting does Kyla gain in this situation? A. Painting bolsters memory. B. Painting cultivates emotional growth. C. Painting promotes stress relief. And D. Painting enhances problem solving. So, ayon kay Kyla, nagpe-paint siya for entertainment, leisure, and as well as therapy para mawala yung kanyang stress. Of course, no? We have discussed that one of the benefits of painting is the answer is letter C. Painting promotes stress relief. Number 2, all of these art forms and genres flourished during the 20th century, except what? No? So, what is the art forms in the 20th century? Going back to what we have discussed in the brief history and development of painting, we can assure that the 20th century, ang kanyang mga art forms and genres na nag-flourish ay Neo-Expressionism, Fauvism, as well as Cubism. So therefore, the answer will be letter A, Romanticism, because Romanticism, I think, flourished during the 19th century. Number 3, what is the sole reason why the contemporary period has painting genres and styles that are difficult to define and categorize into one concept? A, the contemporary period does not have enough materials to create artworks of similar nature. B, the contemporary period discusses various complex issues that are diverse and global. C, the contemporary period focuses on different belief systems that change per artist's perspective. And D, the contemporary period highlights the importance of individualistic expressionism and thoughts. So, bakit nga ba mahirap or difficult to define and categorize yung mga paintings or mga artworks in general ng contemporary period? Okay, so our answer for number 3 is letter B. The contemporary period discusses various complex issues that are diverse and global. Okay, letter A, the contemporary period. Bakit nga ba? Letter A, the contemporary period does not have enough materials. We have more than enough materials. Rather, so marami tayong ways that we can create artworks with in the contemporary period. So this is false. Mali yan. X na yan. Let C, the contemporary period focuses on different belief systems, meaning religion, change per artist perspective. Ito po ay hindi contemporary period but Middle Ages. So this is wrong as well. The contemporary period highlights the importance of individualistic expressionism and thoughts. Yes, we may say that in the contemporary period, nag-highlight, merong individualistic expressionism and thoughts, but it's not the really dominant side of artworks nowadays, because this is humanism. So this is during the Renaissance period. Therefore, X. Because truly, the contemporary period discusses various complex issues, global complex issues that are diverse, no? Yan, global, diverse, and controversial. Controversial. Yan. So that is why the contemporary period has difficult to define and categorize paintings or artworks because it has complex issues, no? This refers to the pinag-aralan din natin to. I will just want to add, no, yung social function ng art in general. Okay, erase all ink. Number 4, the stylistic tendency mainly focuses on the organization, composition, and proportion of the artwork. Stability and permanence are its main concern. A, style of emotion. B, style of fantasy. C, style of objective accuracy. And D, style of formal order. So what stylistic tendency does this identify or does this describe? Our number 4 is very easy. From the word organization, proportion, and stability and permanence, these are the keywords. It is the style of formal order. Examples of this nga yung Cubism. Number 5, at the right are some of the stages in the intensive process of painting. Yon, diniscuss natin yan, di ba? What is the proper sequence of events? So for the technique to answer questions like this is to have a piece of paper or your solution paper and then you arrange them. No? Ang unang pinakauna is yung, wala naman tayong yung gathering of materials, procurement, wala. So, mag-i-start tayo sa initial sketch of painting. So, next, pagka initial sketch of painting, dito tayo sa may measuring of borders and canvas priming. Next, sunod is painting the number 1, transfer of sketch and canvas toning. Next, pwede na tayo mag-paint. So, painting the first layer, 2. Next is layer. Kailangan na natin mag-layer ng tons of paint. After that, focus na tayo sa highlights and finishing details. And lastly, drying of paint and application of protection. This is number 4, I think. Yeah. So, saan dito? 3, 6, 1, 2, 5. This is 7. And this is 4. Ayan, medyo nakakalito na tayo sa Roman numerals. So, the answer will be, erase muna natin. The answer will be letter B. For number 6, the blank is a Paleolithic cave situated in southwestern France, which contains prehistoric paintings of wildlife such as rhinos, cattle, bison, and felines. So, ano to? Anong cave to? Is it A. Chauvet Cave, B. Cave of Lascaux, C. Cave of Desmois, or D. Cocalier Cave? Demoiselles ata to, I think. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. Desmo or Demoiselles. Just search the proper pronunciation. But rather, we need to identify what is this Paleolithic cave. So, yun yung focus natin. So, for number 6, diniscuss ko po ito nung on-site discussion natin sa Cpar nung last Monday. And diniscuss ko din kung paano to accidentally na-discover ng 4 teenagers and a dog named Robot. So, the answer for this is letter B, Cave of Lascaux. Number 7. Okay, this is another situational question just like in number 1. Miguel wants to create a realistic portrait that can be displayed in a local museum or can be sold for a decent amount of money. The main purpose of his painting is for display. Which of the following factors should Miguel prioritize? A. The prominent size of the painting and its average weight. B. The affordability of the materials used in the portrait or the painting. C. The fine details of the painting and its layer of protection from debris. And D. The texture of the canvas surface as well as its degree of thickness. No? So, the answer for number 7 is, syempre ito ay i-display at ibebenta. Basically, Miguel wants to create a painting for commission, an art for commission. So, marami pong mga artists na ginagawa yan ngayon. Dun sila kumikita, no? So, the answer for this is letter C, the fine details of the painting and layer of protection. For letter A, hindi po natin ito diniscuss as one of the priorities, as one of the intensive process of painting. Because in this case, we will compare it to Mona Lisa. If you will look at Mona Lisa in the museum, yung totoong copy ng Mona Lisa, maliit lang siya. Hindi siya super laki. No? It's like a normal frame nung paint. Normal frame. Like, kunyari ba yung mga frame ng mga graduation photos, parang ganun lang siya kalaki. Or maybe even smaller. Just look it up on the internet. So, hindi po to. Okay. The affordability of materials. Kapag gumagawa na ka ng commission, hindi mo pwedeng hindi maganda yung quality ng mga materials mo. So, dapat pinagbubuhusan siya or pinaggagastusan yung paint. Kasi, dapat yung light fastness, hindi dapat nag-fade yung color ng paint. So, paint that have a light fast rating or high light fast rating is a bit more expensive, you know. So, this is cross na. So, hindi ko din pala yun na-discuss na yung light fastness. So, maybe in our future discussions, I will discuss what is the meaning of light fast. Ibig sabihin lang talaga nun, or the main concept of it is yung fadeness. Hindi nag-fade yung kulay, tsaka yung richness, yung intensity ng pigments. So, C is the fine details of the painting. Yes, kasi pinag-usapan natin, no, one of the intensive processes of painting is yung layering, rendering, and highlights. Ayan. As well as yung layer of protection, diba, didiscuss natin yung kung paano, ano yung mga nilalagay sa painting. For example, yun nga yung acrylic gloss varnish, yung outside sealer, matte finish, protection, etc. Ganyan do. Or kaya minsan yung iba nilalagyan ng frame, diba? So, kaya mas maganda na pag nagdi-display ka, maganda yung details at may protection siya from debris. The texture of the canvas surface, na-discuss din natin to in the terms of canvas priming. Pero, yung degree ng thickness, hindi naman natin to mini-measure eh. Hindi din yun important, no? So, X na natin yan. That's why our answer is C. Number 8. Okay, what is the difference between canvas priming versus canvas toning? A. Canvas priming uses brown shades while canvas toning utilizes gesso, acrylic gesso. B. Canvas priming is concerned about the texture of the canvas while canvas toning creates a warm atmosphere. C. Canvas priming is usually done by artists after canvas toning. D. Canvas priming requires thinner layers of coverage compared to canvas toning. So, our answer for number 8 is, of course, letter B. Yung canvas priming, baliktad tong A. Dapat ang canvas priming ay gumagamit ng gesso at yung canvas toning gumagamit ng brown shades. So, dapat ito nandito, tas ito dito. So, canvas priming is concerned concerned siya about the texture of the canvas, di ba? Canvas priming is applying a medium so that the paint will flow smoothly and be absorbed by the canvas itself. And yung canvas toning naman is creates a warm atmosphere so that we will have depth, shadow, no? The warmness, the aura of the painting. This is correct. C, canvas priming, hindi po nauuna ang dapat, canvas priming, no? Rather than canvas toning. And D, mas manipis lang po dapat ang canvas toning, yung manipis, hindi yung canvas priming. Kasi canvas priming, binablock natin yung ini-smooth natin. So, canvas primer doesn't require thinner layers, but rather require thicker layer of coverage of gesso. So, that's why letter B is our answer. Okay, second to the last question. A Filipino artist who developed a painting technique that can be defined as a form of embroidery that resembles quilting or hand-stitched textiles. So, we have only two artists and two techniques or genres in painting. So, meron tayo si Vicente Manansala, Trapunto, Pasita Abad, Transparent Cubism. Si Vicente Manansala, Transparent Cubism. Di Pasita Abad, Trapunto. So, kailangan na natin tanggalin yung mga errors dito. So, Vicente Manansala is known for Transparent Cubism. So, ito, wrong na to. A. Pasita Abad is known for Trapunto. So, this is wrong. So, ito na lang pagpipilian natin, C and D. Transparent cubism ba yung quilting or hand-stitched textiles na diniscuss natin nung prelim and ngayon, mas in-emphasize natin siya nung midterms? Hindi, diba? Transparent cubism is, it is under the style of formal order in which hindi nawawatak yung mismong form ng objects, no? Nakikita mo pa rin siya at na-identify mo pa rin yung it's pinaghalo nga siyang realism, impressionism, and cubism. Hindi siya quilting or walang form of embroidery. This is wrong. Therefore, our answer is Pasita Abad. Pasita Abad is the one that developed this painting technique called trapunto. So, ayan. So, ganito po mag-analyze ng mga questions with analogies. Ayan. Kailangan na natin is. Okay, our last question, number 10. Letter D yung answer, no? Si Pasita Abad. For number 10, this is a painting of mine, no? The painting at the right was the first decent watercolor painting. It is real. This is my first decent watercolor painting of grade 9 Avogadro student. This is from my former school. This Avocado student, John Ford Biol Menyosa, and I painted this during 2021. What stylistic tendency did you think he applied or I applied, no? A, style of objective accuracy. B, style of formal order. C, style of emotion. Or D, style of fantasy. If nakikinig kayo sa aking discussion kanina, yung mga diniscuss ko yung still life, at diniscuss ko din yung mga stylistic tendencies, malalaman mo na ang answer dito ay letter A. You will be sure that it will be a style of objective accuracy. Why? Kasi still life is copying or imitating objects in real life, 'di ba? With emphasizing creating shadows and changing variations or the changing behaviors of life. So kaya siya naging objective accuracy kasi nga kinakopy natin siya, 'di ba? So the answer for number 10, our last number, is A. So, first of all, I will congratulate na natapos mo. Kung napanood mo tong video na to, I will congratulate you. This is a very long discussion and I am very honored for you to discuss this topic, which is the art and focus, the styles, the history and processes, procedures in painting. Because painting is really one of my hobbies and painting is one of my beloved forms of art. No? Even though that I am still in a process of developing art, or I am still an artist in progress. So, may you have learned something, and this is our sources and references. Ayan, yung mga books na ginamit natin, yan, 21st century, other references on the internet, yung mga books din na ginamit ko, tsaka nandito din yung ating, yung textbook na ginagamit natin sa school. Again, thank you for listening. This is our lesson 4 and midterms. I'm so sorry if na-delay man tong video na to or ngayon ko lang siya na-upload. Medyo mahaba nga siya. It's more than 100 slides. But I think sana naman may natutunan kayo at meron na kayo na-acquired sa ating discussion. Again, thank you for listening. Padayon and toodles. Bye-bye.